Jammu and Kashmir has a lot of sporting talent which is not finding expression due to inadequate sports facilities. I propose to provide a special sum of rupees 200 crores for upgrading the indoor and outdoor stadiums to international levels, which are in both Jammu and in the Kashmir Valley. I propose to set up a sports university in Manipur. Manipur has done exceptionally well in sports. For this, I am providing a sum of rupees 100 crores in the current financial year. Unique sports traditions have developed in the Himalayan region in the countries and the states that are a part of it. To promote this, India will start an annual event to promote these games and would invite countries like Nepal and Bhutan also to participate, in addition to Indian states like Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Sikkim and the northeastern states. I am also setting aside a sum of rupees 100 crores for the training of our sports women and men for the forthcoming Asian and Commonwealth Games. Employment exchanges will transform into career centers, and in addition for providing information about job availability. Those centers will also extend counseling facilities to the youth for selecting jobs best suited for their ability and aptitude. I have set aside a sum of rupees 100 crores for this purpose. Youth of India are pragmatic and looking forward and wish to be leaders in all other fields. In order to promote leadership skills, I propose to set up a Young Leaders program with an initial allocation of rupees 100 crores. Displaced Kashmiri migrants. Displaced Kashmiri migrants require our special support for rehabilitation. For this, I intend to provide a sum of rupees 500 crores in the current financial year. There is a need to increase the capacity in the country for Himalayan studies. I propose to set up a national center for Himalayan studies in Uttarakhand with an initial outlay of rupees 100 crores. It is also proposed to set up a National Academy for Customs and Excise at Hindupur in Andhra Pradesh. Northeastern region has tremendous potential for development of organic farming, which is a growing global demand for organic food. People living in northeastern states can reap the harvest for development of commercial organic farming. To this facility, I propose to provide a sum of rupees 100 crores for this purpose in the present financial year. Northeastern region has suffered from underdevelopment with a sense of isolation due to lack of proper connectivity. Development of rail systems is urgently required to bridge this gap. I intend to expedite the development of rail connectivity in the region, and for this purpose, I have set aside an additional sum of rupees 1,000 crores over and above what is provided in the interim budget. Television is an important tool of expression of our cultural identities and for creating greater awareness of the richness of the diversity of our country. To provide a strong platform to rich cultural and linguistic identity of the Northeast, a new 24/7 channel called Arun Prabha will be launched. Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. My government is committed to addressing the issues relating to the development of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana in the AP Reorganization Act. Provisions have been made by various ministries and departments to fulfill all the obligations of the Union government to help both the states. NCT Delhi faces a large in-migration every year. Delhi is plagued by frequent transmission-related problems and issues of water distribution and supply. In order to overcome this and make Delhi into a world-class city, I have proposed to provide rupees 200 crores for power reforms and rupees 500 crores for water reforms in Delhi. In addition, to solve the long-term water supply issues of the capital region, construction of a long-pending Renuka Dam would be undertaken with priority. I have provided an initial sum of 50 crores for this. Andaman and Nicobar Islands are a part of our rich cultural heritage. In order to tide over the communication-related problems, I propose to allocate rupees 150 crores for this purpose. I also propose to provide rupees 188 crores to Puducherry for making its commitments for disaster preparations. Budget estimates. I now turn to the budget estimates of the main budget 2014-15. We have inherited a legacy wherein continuation of financial consolidation cannot be compromised while providing for essential items. However, we have a mandate to fulfill for the people. Keeping this in mind, we have prepared the estimates of expenditure and receipts for the financial year 2014-15. Non-plan expenditure estimates for the financial year are rupees 12,19,892 crores. While preparing non-plan estimates, due care has been taken to fully provide for all the essential activities. Additional amounts have been provided for fertilizer subsidy and capital expenditure of the armed forces. While preparing estimates of capital expenditure, attention was paid to the absorptive capacity of the department and on achieving greater outcome of the financial sector outlay. In 2013-14, planned funds to the tune of rupees 4,53,085 crores could be utilized. Plan allocation of rupees 5,75,000 crores in the main budget of 2014-15 marks an increase of 26.9% over the actuals of 13-14 and has been targeted towards agriculture, capacity creation in health and education, rural roads, national highways, infrastructure and railway network expansion, clean energy initiatives, development of water resources and river conservation plans. Further, through convergence of programs, greater impact from money spent will be achieved. Total expenditure estimates thus stand at rupees 17,94,892 crores. To finance this expenditure, it is estimated that the gross tax receipts will be rupees 13,64,524 crores. After devolving the share of the states, the centre will have rupees 9,77,258 crores. Non-tax revenues in the current financial year will be rupees 2,12,505 crores, and the capital receipt other than borrowing will be rupees 73,952 crores. With the above estimates, the fiscal deficit of 4.5% of GDP and a revenue deficit will be rupees 2.9% of the GDP. Honourable members will recall that it was the initiative of the NDA government under Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee where we had made it compulsory that 10% allocation in the planned funds for the northeastern regions had been made, non-lapsable in nature. From the current budget, we have introduced a statement which will separately show the plan allocation for northeastern regions. In financial year 2014-15, an allocation of rupees 53,706 crores has been made for the northeastern region. We have further made an allocation of rupees 98,030 crores for women and 81,075 crores for child welfare. Madam Speaker, I shall now present my tax proposals. Taxation are important for every economy. To fund government expenditure on security and welfare of people, the interim budget 2014-15, my predecessors had set a tax revenue collection target of direct taxes as well as indirect taxes, which appear to be ambitious. I propose to retain these targets. It shall be my endeavour to achieve the same. The impact of tax changes now have of course been factored into in the budget estimates of 2014-15. While preparing the tax proposals, I had to encounter challenge of an extremely limited fiscal space. Nonetheless, I propose to introduce measures to revive the economy, to promote investment in manufacturing sector, rationalize tax provisions so that I can reduce litigation, as also to address the problem of inverted duty structures in certain areas. I propose to give some relief to the individual taxpayers and certain sectors of the economy. Direct taxes. Let me begin with the direct taxes. Madam Speaker, I do not propose to make any changes in the tax rate. However, with a view to provide small and marginal taxpayers and relief to small and marginal taxpayers and senior citizens, I propose to increase the personal income tax exemption limit by rupees 50,000, that is from rupees 2 lakhs to rupees 2.5 lakhs, in the case of all individual taxpayers who are below the age of 60 years. Similarly, I also propose to raise the exemption limit from rupees 2.5 lakhs to rupees 3 lakhs in the case of senior citizens. I do not propose to make any change in the rate of surcharge either for corporates or individuals, HUFs or firms. The education cess for all taxpayers will continue at 3%. In the year 2012-13, the gross domestic savings were 30.1% of the GDP, as compared to 33.7% in the year 2009-10. Increase in savings and their productive use leads to higher economic growth. The households are the main contributors to the savings. Therefore, to encourage domestic investments in long-term savings, I propose to increase the investment limit under Section 80C to all income taxpayers from rupees 1 lakh to rupees 1.5 lakhs. Housing continues to be an area of concern for the middle and the lower class due to high cost of financing. Therefore, to reduce the burden, I propose to increase the deduction limit on account of interest on loans in respect of self-occupied property from rupees 1.5 lakh to rupees 2 lakhs. Infrastructure and construction sectors have a significant role in the economy. Growth in these sectors is necessary to revive the economy and generate jobs for millions of our young boys and girls. As stated earlier, with a view to attract large-scale investment in these sectors, I have provided a conducive tax regime for infrastructure investment trusts and real estate investment trusts to be set up in accordance with the regulations of the Securities and Exchange Board of India. The manufacturing sector is of paramount importance to our economy. This sector has a multiplier effect on creation of jobs. Last year, an incentive in form of investment allowance to manufacturing companies which invest more than 100 crores in plant and machinery during the year 1st April 2013 to 31st March 2015 was announced. Considering the need to incentivize smaller entrepreneurs, I propose to provide an investment allowance at the rate of 15% to a manufacturing company which invests more than 25 crores in any year in plant and machinery. This benefit will be available for 3 years, that is investment up to 31/3/2017. The scheme announced last year will continue to operate in parallel till 31/3/2015. I also propose to extend the investment-linked deduction to 2 sectors, namely slurry pipes for transportation of iron ore and semiconductor wafer fabrication manufacturing units. This will boost investment in these 2 sectors. Supply of power continues to be a major area of concern for the country. Therefore, instead of the annual extensions, I propose to extend the 10-year tax holiday to undertakings which begin generation, distribution and transmission of power by 31/3/2017. The stability of our policy will help investors to plan their investments better. Foreign portfolio investors who have invested more than 8 lakh crores, that is about $130 billion in India, one of their concern is uncertainty of taxation on account of characterization of their income. Moreover, the fund managers of these foreign investors remain outside India under the apprehension of their presence in India may have adverse tax consequences. With a view to put an end to this uncertainty and to encourage these fund managers to shift to India, I propose to provide that income arising out of portfolio investors with transactions in securities will be treated as capital gains. The concessional rate of tax of 15% on dividend received by Indian companies from foreign subsidies has resulted in enhanced repatriation of funds from abroad. I propose to continue the concessional rate of 15% foreign dividends without any sunset date. This will ensure stability of taxation policy. In order to augment long-term foreign borrowings for Indian companies, I propose to extend the eligible dates of borrowings in foreign currency from 31/6/2016 to 30th June 2017. From 30th June 16 to 17 for a concessional rate of 5% on interest payments. I also propose to extend this tax incentive to all types of bonds instead of only infrastructure bonds. I hope this measure will enable the companies to step up their investments in India. In order to reduce litigation on transfer pricing issues, I propose to make certain changes in transfer pricing regulations. An advanced pricing agreement scheme was introduced in the year 2012. It has received a good response. I propose to strengthen the tax administration set up by the APA to expedite the disposal of applications. Further, I propose to introduce a rollback provision of the APA scheme so that the APA entered into for a future transaction may also be applied to international transactions undertaken in the previous 4 years to specified circumstances. In order to align transfer pricing regulations in India with the best available practices, I propose to introduce range concept for determination of arm's length price. However, the arithmetic mean concept will continue to apply where the number comparable is inadequate. The relevant data under analysis and appropriate rules will be prescribed. As per the existing provisions of the transfer pricing regulations, only 1 year data is allowed to be used for comparable analysis with some exception. I propose to amend this regulation to allow use of multiple year data. Necessary legislative amendments to give effect to the above proposals, including those relating to Authority for Advance Ruling, Income Tax Settlement Commission, will be moved in the current session of Parliament. In the case of mutual funds, other equities-oriented funds, the capital gains arising out of transfer of units held for more than a year is taxed at a concessional rate of 10%, whereas direct investments in banks and other debt instruments attract a higher rate of tax. This allows tax arbitrage opportunities. This arbitrage has hardly benefited retail investors as their percentage is very small amongst the mutual fund investors. With a view to remove this tax arbitrage, I propose to increase the rate of tax for long-term capital gains from 10% to 20% on transfer of units of such funds. I propose to increase the period of holding in respect of such units from 12 months to 36 months for this purpose. In the year 2003, a tax liability on income by way of dividend was shifted from the shareholder to the company. The shareholder was required to pay tax on gross dividends, but now the company pays tax on dividend amount net of taxes. Similarly, in the case of mutual fund, income distribution tax is paid on the income distributed net of taxes. I propose to remove this anomaly both in the case of the company and the mutual fund. Currently, where the assessee fails to deduct and pay tax on specified payments to residents, 100% of such payments are not allowed as deduction while computing these income. This has caused undue hardship to taxpayers, particularly where the rate of tax is only 1 to 10%. I propose to provide that instead of 100%, only 30% of such payments will be disallowed. The Direct Tax Code 2010 has lapsed with the dissolution of the 15th Lok Sabha. Having considered the report of the Standing Committee and the views expressed by the stakeholders, my predecessor had placed a revised code in public domain in 2014. The government shall consider all comments received from stakeholders on the revised code. The government will also review the DTC in its present take and take a view in the whole matter. Income Tax Department is expected to function not only as an enforcement agency but also as a facilitator. A number of Aikar Seva Kendras have been opened in different parts of the country. I propose to extend this facility by opening 60 more such Seva Kendras along with the current financial year to promote excellence in service delivery. The focus of any tax administration is to broaden the tax base. Our policy thrust is to adopt a non-intrusive method to achieve this object. In this direction, I propose to make a greater use of information technology techniques. The net effect of the direct tax proposals is a revenue loss of rupees 22,200 crores. Indirect taxes. I now turn to indirect taxes and shall begin with custom duties. Manufacturing sector is under a stress due to the variety of reasons. To boost the domestic manufacturing sector and also to address the issue of inverted duties, I propose to reduce the basic customs duty on fatty acid crude palm styrene RBD and other palm sterenes specified industrial grade crude oils from 7.5% to nil for manufacture of soaps and oleochemicals. Crude glycerine from 12.5% to 7.5% and crude glycerine used in manufacture of soaps from 12.5% to nil. Steel grade limestone and steel grade dolomite from 5% to 2.5%. Battery waste and battery scrap from 10% to 5%. Coal tar pitch from 10% to 5%. Specified inputs for manufacture of spandex yarn from 5% to nil. In order to encourage new investment and capacity additions in chemicals and petrochemical sectors, I propose to reduce basic custom duty on reformate from 10% to 2.5%, on ethane, propane, ethylene, propylene, butadiene and orthoxylene from 5% to 2.5%, on methyl alcohol and denatured ethyl alcohol from 7.5% to 5%, and on crude naphthalene from 10% to 5%. The demand of the electronics is growing very fast. To boost domestic production and reduce our dependence on imports, I intend to take the following steps. Impose basic custom duty of 10% on specified telecommunication products that are outside the purview of the Information Technology Agreement. Exempt all inputs, components used in the manufacture of personal computers from 4% special additional duty. Impose educational cess on imported electronic products to provide parity between domestically produced goods and imported goods. Exempt 4% SAD on PVC and ribbon used for manufacture of smart cards. Cathode rays TVs are used by the weaker sections who cannot afford to buy more expensive flat panel TVs. I propose to exempt color picture tubes from basic custom duty to make cathode rays TVs cheaper. The duty concession will help to revive the manufacturing of the TVs in the SME sector and create employment opportunity. At the same time, to encourage production of LCDs, LEDs and TVs below 19 inches in India, I propose to reduce the basic custom duty on LCD, LED panels below 19 inches and 10% to nil. Further, to encourage manufacture of LCDs, LED panels, I propose to exempt them from basic custom duty specified inputs in their manufacture. The domestic stainless steel industry is presently suffering from severe underutilization of capacity. To give an impetus to stainless steel industry, I propose to increase the basic customs duty on imported flat-rolled products of stainless steel from 5% to 7.5%. We need to maximize our utilization of solar power. The existing duty structure incentivizes imports rather than domestic manufacturing on solar photovoltaic cells and modules. Therefore, I propose to exempt from basic custom duty specified inputs to use in the manufacture of EVA sheets and black sheets, flat copper wires and manufacture of PV ribbons. A concessional basic custom duty of 5% is also being extended to machinery equipment required for setting up of project for solar energy production. To promote wind energy, I propose to reduce basic custom duty from 10% to 5% on forged steel rings used in manufacturing bearings of wind-operated electricity generators. Also, I propose to exempt the SAD of 4% on parts of raw materials required for manufacture of wind-operated generators. Further, I propose to prescribe a concessional basic custom duty of 5% on machinery and equipment required for setting up of compressed biogas plants. I have only highlighted some of the proposals in Budget 2014-15. I am sure these measures would incentivize value, generic income and create more jobs. I have also undertaken several tax rationalization measures. At present, coal attracts a custom duty at different rates. I propose to rationalize these duty structures on all non-agglomerated coal at 2.5% of basic custom duty and 2% CVD. Henceforth, anthracite coal, bituminous coal, coking coal, steam coal and other coal will attract the same duty. This will eliminate all assessment disputes and transactional costs associated with testing of various parameters of coal. Metallurgical coke is manufactured out of coking coal. The basic custom duty on metallurgical coke is being increased from nil to 2.5% in line with the duty of coking coal.